Coming to get you, Barbara.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We have such sights to show you.
Who's laughing now?
Are you crazy? I'll kill you all. I'm the nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
They're here.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Girls, Gore, and Gin. It is your host, Laura Nicole, and we have Andrea. And Miguel's there, too. Say hi, Miguel.
I am here, I swear. Sort of. I'm half here. You can hear my voice. That's enough, all right? That's more than enough.
Yeah.
So angelic. As long as we can hear you, that's fine.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Keep your hands where we can see.
I can't even see
your
my
hands
hand.
where you can see. Can you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear him a little bit.
Okay. He's
And
going
we're
to
gonna have a little guest spot. Yeah.
Huh?
We have a little guest spot tonight, right?
Oh, yeah. He's going to be hopping on. It's been a while since he actually kind of was on. So he's going to hop in for a little bit and share some haunted places with us.
Sweet. All right. I like the sound of that. I also love the horns, by the way, and the beat.
I love them. They're so cute.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to have to steal both the beanie and the horns and wear them simultaneously.
Hey.
When people get to
me.
Don't touch the beanie.
No touching the beanie.
That's fair. Fair enough. All right, guys, let's start this off proper. Just because I'm messing up doesn't mean we have to mess up the show. I think it's time for a would you a rather.
All right. Would you rather not be able to bend your knees or not be able to bend your elbows? So you're walking around like this.
Yeah.
Like straight legs.
I don't know. That's a difficult one. I get tired very easily, so I think I wouldn't be able to. I think it would be my arms.
I think so too, because you know what? I've seen people walking around and they don't bend their knees. Holy shit. Hello, thank you.
So I was like,
a little bit, yeah. Outlet's very bright.
There you go. Don't stare at the light.
Peanut's helping me with my background here.
Lauren, don't go into the light.
Caroline.
There is no that. Budget cuts and such.
Budget cuts.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I'll have to say this before the audience chimes in. I never bend the knee. I would never. So, Game of Thrones reference. I'm glad I got that in. Very happy with myself right now.
You would be the first one, Miguel. You know you would.
What are you talking about?
You'd bend your knee. You'd snitch on everyone.
Wow. I'm hurt a little bit, but also kind of true. Yeah. No, I would pick no bending of the knees because I would be like, what's his name on Forrest Gump? Lieutenant Dan with his magic legs. So,
I thought you were talking about Little Forrest with his braces on.
Oh, him too. Oh, got magic legs.
run, Miguel, run!
Yeah, that's something none of us want to see. It's very embarrassing when I run, so let's avoid that. Knees. I've had surgery on both. I'm used to them locking up. So Charlie knows what's up. He's got the right pick. he knows experiences. So all right, we got that on there. And thank you so much to Tim and Goody for checking in as well.
Hey guys.
Yeah. It's so weird because I'm usually like my face. I'm sorry.
It's so weird. Like
But,
I can't tell your expression just from listening to your voice.
I will try to be as sarcastic as possible in certain moments. That I promised. We go. Well, let's go ahead and get this in there. Then we are talking haunted places. Yeah.
Spooky.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Let's go ahead. Andrea, do you want to start us off? Do you have a haunted place that you want to speak on?
Sure. Yeah. So the place that I'm going to talk about right now, I actually went to this place. I didn't know this place was haunted. I didn't find out until after my experience because I'm kind of retarded. And then I realized that this is like one of America's most haunted towns. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So I'm going to talk about Elmwood Cemetery. It's in Shepherdstown and it's in West Virginia. So this cemetery in Virginia was built in 1867. It's considered to be one of the most haunted towns in America. It's pretty much where all the veterans are buried. It's one of like the most like oldest cemeteries we have. So right off the bat, you know that there's going to be some type of paranormal activity going on because it's so old. It's got so much history. It's just, it's the final resting place of Revolutionary War veterans, Confederate soldiers, scholars, priests. It had a battle of the Shepherdstown and other battles. There's obviously a lot of like bloodshed that went on during this time. There's a lot of loss, a lot of grief. My experience with this place, I was taking photos of the cemetery and I put my backpack against one of the trees. When I looked back, my backpack was moved way back. Like really back too. I was like, I didn't walk that far. So I know I didn't place my backpack that far. And not only that, but I've photographed a lot of cemeteries before and I've never gotten the feeling like somebody's watching me. And I've been to some pretty like remote places, and this place, it's not as remote, but you just get this like feeling that something is not right. It was one of the places that I was like, you know what? I'm done for the day. I left that place. Yeah, I did. I was like, you know what? I took enough photos. I'm good. I think I'm done. It was just one of those like, you just get that feeling that something's in the air, something's not right. I was like, yeah, I'm good to go. But
those are
it's in
those
Shepherdstown, West Virginia. You can look it up. I didn't know about this place until I just randomly chose a cemetery just to take photos because they had really pretty tombstones. But a lot of stuff has gone down there, and it's like a really big paranormal hotspot.
Well, it's crazy too. West Virginia. Well, I don't know about West Virginia, but Virginia in general. I don't remember where it was, but I don't know if you're familiar with Vampire Diaries or whatever, but that's Virginia, supposedly where a lot of that stuff supposedly happened too, and it's where it's based on. So there's a lot of like paranormal and like all kinds of vampires and like werewolves and like folklore and shit like that too. So I don't doubt it.
Yeah, actually, when I went to that, I stayed in a hotel in that area. When I stayed at that, I can't remember what the hotel was called, but I remember I left that hotel like around, I want to say like 10:30 at night. It wasn't that late, but I actually saw a few people come out of that hotel in black cloaks.
Weird.
Which I thought was really odd because I've never actually seen that in person. Like they came out, it was two of them. They came out and they were just kind of like walking around kind of creepy. And I was like, oh, okay, you don't see that every day.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it was.
I'd be creeped out for sure. Man, I want to go. I want to go now. I want to go visit the cemetery because I love cemeteries. I like the one here in town. What is it? Union? Is that what it's called? The Union Cemetery?
Yeah.
No.
Union,
There's well, wait, is it
I think it
the
is.
same one, just different entrances? I don't know.
It's
There's Green Lawn.
There's Green Lawn, yeah, but then there is Union Cemetery. I believe they're owned by the same company.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
But yeah, different locations.
Yeah, I went to Bakersfield, I think was it last week? And I saw a huge cemetery. I don't remember the name of it, but it was pretty big. And I was like, you know what? This is one that I'm going to have to go and photograph because it was pretty big.
Yeah. We took our engagement photos and I think that one.
At the Union Cemetery.
The Union Cemetery.
Oh, nice. That's cute.
It was during the day, so I didn't feel anything weird.
Yeah, I usually never do. I've never had an experience in a cemetery, even though people, assume you're going to see something or hear something. I've never had an issue, but this place was just a little, it just, like I said, you could just feel it in the air. Something was like, and I don't think I was really welcomed. I don't know if they thought maybe it was disrespectful that I was taking photos, but that's the feeling it got, like I wasn't welcomed.
Right.
So I was like, okay, bye.
Bye, guys. Peace.
Oh, no, that's one of those like gut reactions where you just you gotta listen to it. It might not be something malicious, but if it gives you that feeling like maybe I don't belong here, it's probably best to just follow your instincts. I think you made the right call.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Even in social settings, if you don't feel safe where you're at, where there are people, your gut tells you shit like that for a reason.
Yeah, if you're uncomfortable, just go. Bye.
Oh yeah. Definitely agree. That's why I don't hang out with Lauren very often. She puts me in dangerous situations.
I'm so dangerous.
So Charlie, that's right. Yeah, Union has separate sections with a street running in between them.
Okay, that's why. That makes sense.
Definitely a beautiful spot, though. Not gonna lie, it's done very well, very nicely. Richard says, when I was in Jefferson, Texas, I was standing across from the Jefferson Hotel, and a girl ran across the street yelling, "Did you see that?" But I didn't see anything. I wonder what she saw. Did she ever tell you what she saw?
I wonder.
All right. So very awesome way to start it out with a haunted cemetery. I love that. I have an island if you want me to go into that.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now let me get a visual up here since my face isn't around. There we go. So this is the story of the Island of the Dolls in Mexico. As I think we talked about it on this show or another one previous.
It might have been this one, but probably very briefly.
Yeah, and then there's another story that kind of relates to this one, just the urban folk lore of La Llorona in Mexican folklore. And a lot of Southwest states will tell the same story of a woman who drowns her kids and basically becomes an evil, vengeful spirit trying to find new kids to replace hers, and she will drown them as well. This one kind of fits in the same category because the little girl who passed away near this island had her doll with her when it happened. And a gentleman, obviously not the one in this picture right here, it's not really him, it's just a representation. But the gentleman who takes care of the island saw a doll wash up. And he decided, he's going to hang it up and he's going to have it as an offering for the girl who passed away. And then all of a sudden, another doll and another doll and another doll just started coming and coming down the river until you have an island that is just coated with these dolls that he found in the water coming towards him. So he hangs them up more and more, and it could be absolutely completely safe for all we know. I mean, it's a little girl playing with dolls if you break it down. Mm-hmm. But the fact how they look and the story behind it, I went with Alejandro on this one. Yeah, Gotta Love Mexico. This is just it's an eerie feeling place, and I believe it's definitely haunted. It's probably not a malicious spirit. I don't think she is. At least it's a little girl. Just being a kid. But it's still a fascinating story in my book, and I wanted to do like a little short story or short film about this forever ago. But it is a potent situation over there of dolls and just the isolation of the island and the area that it's in. It's wonderful. I think it's a really interesting story. But it doesn't go too far into it past that. If anyone else knows anything else, obviously bring it up. But this is.
I have a theory.
Oh, bring it in.
It's possible maybe if you maybe trace where the river starts, where do those dolls come from? Maybe little girls of families that the cartels have kidnapped.
Oh, jeez. That is dark.
Yeah. Just a theory.
It's like, that's dark.
Just a theory. I mean, it fits in with like true crime more than but
yeah, that would make sense.
For sure.
It's no, but I'm not saying that it's not haunted, but maybe that's where the dolls came from.
It's just creepy. That's creepy.
Weird.
That's one of the places I would love to go photograph.
Oh yeah.
That's insane. That'd be so
maybe
cool.
add a little more dolls.
How old?
Yeah, I would add one.
How old were the dolls?
Yeah, like were they ancient type dolls or like rather newly acquired type dolls?
No, they range the spectrum from they're all usually plastic or porcelain or cloth dolls. They're not like they don't come from much older than that, because you can see Barbie dolls along there, like Raggedy Ann style ones with the cloth. So there's nothing. I wouldn't say there's anything ancient about them. Okay. Yeah, not just at least from pictures I've seen. That's the best I can do. And real quick, guys, Richard says, she said there was a loud bang and the light started swinging violently, but he didn't see it. So that's the Jefferson Hotel situation he was talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Very creepy, though. Very creepy. And then here's a very good theory from Richard. Maybe the dolls got drunk and fell in the river. Safety around river, guys. Kern River is very dangerous.
Kids got drunk and dropped their dolls in the river. How about that?
Even more tragic. Oof. Tragedy.
And then all the dolls got together. They were like, you know what? Let's just chill.
That's more terrifying if dolls are deciding stuff on their own. No, I don't like it. That's horrifying.
They're starting their own community.
Call it. It's not just the island of the dolls; it's the country of the dolls.
Uh-oh. Start taking over.
All right, so that's the island of the dolls in Mexico. Lauren, you want to go next?
Okay, so this isn't particularly a haunted place. It's basically like haunting episodes. So there have been so many TikToks I've seen where these hospice care nurses and nurses in like nursing homes and staff and all that are talking about how their older white patients are saying that they're being haunted by young black people, and there's the black people in my room, and it's usually those people were racist in their younger years before they developed like the dementia and all that stuff. Because if you think about it, all these people were alive during segregation, probably the very, 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 very end of slavery, or at least their grandparents or their great grandparents were, the ones left over from that. But yeah, it's pretty scary. A lot of them end up confessing to a lot of crimes they've committed too.
Well, I was going to say that's kind of like their karma.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have much else to say other than like I've seen so many that I believe it. Yeah. It's crazy how all of these people have the same story, and a lot of black nurses I've seen too. Their white patients, their elderly white patients don't want them around because they're afraid. They remind them of someone they knew that they were awful to. So they're being haunted by their own fucking karma, basically. Their own conscience. Yeah. So these people are being tortured in their old age because they were pieces of shit when they were young.
Good.
So it's like, yeah. It's really awesome to see. But it's really sad also to see these people confess to like murder. And I've seen one TikTok, I don't remember the TikToker, but she was talking about how a woman, just like the Emmett Till. The Emmett Till thing, like she did the exact same thing to some young black kid, and he was killed just because he liked or she liked his sister's dress better than her own that she was wearing. She was jealous, so she said that that boy touched her.
Oh,
and so he was murdered. He was lynched. He was beaten, all kinds of shit. So it's good. It's awesome to see that they're being haunted in the end, but it sucks to see that they won't get the justice. You know, the victims won't get the justice, and these people would have lived their whole life getting away with it, basically.
Well, that's why now they're getting tormented.
Yeah.
I really hope that's a true story, that they all are getting horribly haunted. However it has to happen, you know, whether it is their nurse actually like scaring them at night, I'm okay with that too.
I'd be cool with that too.
Yeah, totally fine. Damn, I have not heard of this occurrence or this kind of thing happening, but I'm really glad that it is, if it is happening. I'm okay with that. I'm 1,000% okay with people who are bad getting some kind of comeuppance. So keep on going, ghosts. Good job. Good
Says
job.
the voice of God.
What do you call it? Is it better if I do this? Is this better? Hello. You can see my button.
Now you're like an AI. Like,
it needs a little smiley face.
I can't do that, Tom. Or oh damn, what was his name on 2001: Space Odyssey? Either way, I'd be the worst Siri. Okay, I would not tell you what you want. It's like, seriously, you really want to go there right now? I don't know the directions. Fuck, come on. Anyway, oh my goodness. There is, my goodness, I just had the other one here. I have my notes on this. This is I'll go over with another island if you guys want to hear about it real quick.
Sure.
This one is actually very close to us, which is something I think we all know it's haunted. It's Alcatraz. Alcatraz Island was used for a number of terrible things, including kind of forced movement of Native Americans, where they're given this land, and then they were doing very well there, and the government was like, we're going to be needing that land back, and just kick them back off again.
Of course.
As soon as they're basically stable and allowed to kind of live their life as they see fit, they decide, no, we need this for some military purpose. So they had barracks there for a while. And when that wasn't good enough, they decided, you know what, we can keep prisoners here. It'd be very hard for them to get off this island. And, you know, despite what people think, you know, Alcatraz wasn't like the worst prison in the U.S. There's far worse ones, even during that time. But it was very strict still. Like they had no speaking policies for long periods of time. There was like no eye contact at one point. But I guess the food was always pretty dang good. That was like one of the bump ups there. But no matter what, if you have neglect, you have people who are forced onto the land and forced off of that land, people who are being imprisoned there against their will, whether it is, you know, criminals or not, that thing accumulates on a very small, very concentrated area of land. Alcatraz is not very large. The amount of buildings there are not very many, despite, you know, it is an impressive looking structure. It still is very small, comparatively speaking. So you have a lot of anger and hate and malice focused on one small portion of Earth, surrounded by shark-infested waters, and then surrounded by liberalism of San Francisco. So even more terrible.
Feces in the streets.
Yeah, I'm just kidding on that part. But that has nothing to do with paranormal. I'm sorry.
Oh,
but
okay.
but collectively, you're talking about those parts of the world where misdeeds were concentrated. And I've been to the island before. I didn't really feel anything. I was a lot younger, just going there for the tour during the day with a bunch of other tourists. So it's not really, we weren't ghost hunting, if that makes sense. It was just for historical purposes. But I could easily look back and think like, man, what has this building, what have these cells seen in their days? And that could really be true about a lot of prisons, but I think this one gets the attention it deserves because of its location, its infamy, and how many times throughout history it's just been used for terrible purposes in such a wonderful, beautiful bay. You know, it's such dark history on a landscape that's just so wonderful at the same time. So very rough story behind all that. Housing some very famous prisoners like Al Capone and the Birdman of Alcatraz. There's some escape attempts, but none of them have been proven to be successful. A lot of people die in the water or never make it there at all. They were trained to shoot on sight, and they hired some of the best marksmen in the military had to offer at the time to work on that island. They're like, no, this is where we send people where they are never allowed off. And the warden would cherry pick prisoners from around the country who were high risk and very large draws, like media draws. He did his best to fill that prison with the upper crust of criminals, if you will, the worst of the worst or the most recognizable names. Mm-hmm. So he was definitely designing something to be a spectacle. And that definitely, I think, adds to the lore behind Alcatraz Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows what really went on in there?
And the cells in there are actually pretty small, because I've been on that tour quite a few times, and I've been on the night one too.
Ooh, nice.
The cells are pretty small.
Very, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it gets so cold at night, and that water.
They look cold. I've seen pictures of it. It looks like it's nothing but like cold bars and like what, cement?
Once you get out of the actual like prison and you step out and you see where the the people stayed there that were taking care of the prison, it's actually very beautiful. Like you see, it's very green. You see all the pretty flowers. It's very beautiful. But again, when you look up and you see where everybody, were actually, the people who were actually prisoners, it must have been horrible for them.
No, 100%. And yeah, there's that huge that despair or just what's the word I'm looking for? Disassociation between where the guards lived and where the prison lived or the prisoners lived. Like they had their whole families on the island at one point too. You had a school for kids while their parents and their fathers a lot of the time would be working the prison as guards. And I mean, it's just a very interesting place with a lot of history behind it. I think that one could get its own like full episode.
Yeah. You know what? It's weird that two people can live on that island, like the prison guards and the prisoners, and they can have totally, completely separate experiences. Like the prisoners were like,
God, right?
It was horrible for them, but the people lived on it. They were having like, oh yeah, it's beautiful. I love it here.
Oh my God. That's crazy. You know what that reminds me of? The Germans. Whenever the fucking Auschwitz was happening and all that, they're like, outside of all of that shit, everything was great. Oh my God, we love Germany.
Yeah.
Jesus. How most of those people did not have the same experience, like you said. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
Completely different. Same place, completely different experiences.
Yeah, shit.
And Eric on YouTube, he's very correct. You both are very beautiful, and I'm looking pretty round these days. I'm looking very pale. Oof, it's rough.
Very round head, very round shoulders.
I pull it off pretty well. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Thank you. Anyway, oh my goodness.
Peanut had one, a little haunted place.
Heck yeah,
bring it over so he can get in here, get in frame.
I almost fell out of frame. So there you go. The place that I've been really I could spend hours talking about haunted places, but I know limited time, not going to do that. There's a place in Michigan, and it's called Dice Road, and it was an old town that was developed in like the 1800s, right? But there's a couple places of absolute like mystery. One of them is nicknamed the Hell House, and the other one is the Old Iva Store. It's a general store that was also a living quarters at the time. It was all the Iva Store was also a social gathering place in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it saw all sorts of people coming, going, because it also was their post office. Here's where the creepy parts start happening. First with Hell House. Every night in the 70s, it's believed that a warlock or witch or somebody placed a curse on on the family living there at the Hell House, and it has ever since been haunted by poltergeists. Yeah, there you go. It's the old Iva store. Anyway,
this is not the house then, right?
No, that's not. Oh, sorry. I think the one up in the top right-hand corner, I think that is Hell House. I can't really see. It looks like it. The white.
Okay, I'll keep looking.
Okay. Anyway, with the Hell House, there was. It got to a point with the law enforcement that they stopped wanting to come to it because it was the same thing every night. The gentleman who lived there would call complaining that somebody was beating on the side of his house, and they'd go out and investigate, would find nothing. And this carried on like night after night after night. It was just all of a sudden these loud bangs, like somebody was beating the shit out of the house. But then it started getting to a point where shit would start turning on in the middle of the night, like sinks, things that actually took a lot of effort to move. Pictures would be flipped in one of the little series that I was watching on it. In one frame, pictures that are on the wall are right side up, and something happens, camera gets diverted, and in less than like a second or two later, it goes back to where they originally were, and the pictures that you saw in the background are now inverted.
Jeez. Really
kind of some creepy shit. But some of the camera footage that they set up in there, you could see apparitions happen in the film, like either mist or just like a few papers on the refrigerator would kind of flutter up with all this, like as if a fan was just like blown on it. Thing is, it's only like a few papers when there's more of them on the side of the fridge. So it kind of rules out that this was a fan. You see reflections inside in some of the mirrors that happen in there. That happened in the Hell House. But then they're further on down the road, in that Iva store, there was the most notable thing that happened in there, aside from people from the law enforcement getting another call out there because they're hearing voices inside this old abandoned fucking store. Aside from that, the family that bought that place not too long ago, they when they moved in there, it was their son and granddaughter. Granddaughter started having first grade. Yeah. First grade started having nightmares that a man was standing by her bed and would kind of bend down with a lantern and fucking look at her face. And all she could make out was that it was just a black figure, obviously a man. And she started talking about it to her family, and they were like, no, this is just, you're imagining things. It was just your dad checking on you in the middle of the night. But yeah, I highly recommend you watch it. It's something I'm really...
Haunting on Dice Road.
Yeah, they have...
Haunting on Dice Road?
Yeah, The Haunting on Dice Road, and then this one is Town of the Dead. It's also worth noting that this street was basically built on a cemetery. So you're talking about from like a few different plagues that happened, like the smallpox breakout in the early 1900s, where it killed hundreds of people.
Murder.
Murder. And not too far away from there's another place that's just equally as bad, but I'm not even going to touch that one right now. But yeah, I highly recommend you check it out. If you got Amazon Prime, you got it.
Oh, I'm watching that. Yeah, that's happening.
Yeah, check it out. It really, honest to God, sent some chills down my spine, because
it's crazy.
It's really cool that on how they filmed this whole thing, so you could actually see it, what they see, and it's got its comical moments. I don't want to spoil it for you.
I think it's a horrible idea to build anything on top of a fucking burial ground. Any type of cemetery, anything. Like, you're just asking for all this shit.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's disrespect, and they don't like that.
Real quick, Eric says, "I love all this. Very interesting. Thank you so much, Eric. Really appreciate that." And Richard, can you give Richard the name of the documentary proper again? The whole thing.
The Haunting, or A Haunting on Dice Road.
A Haunting. Okay. Right here. I see. There's two of them, right? I see.
Yes. Yes. The first one is the Hell House, which that one fucking it takes quite a bit to freak me out, but that one did the trick. And then the Town of the Dead is the one that talks about the old Iva store, and you're talking like it's a couple hours for both of them, and I just tried to sum it up in under like 3 minutes. So there's a lot more in there. Enjoy, because there's so much I want to talk about with it, but I don't want to spoil it for any of you that might go see it.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate that, because I will be. Yeah, that's gonna happen. I'll be watching that tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, definitely. And let me know what you think about it, because I want to talk.
No, for sure.
That's when you know it's a good one, when you want to talk about it and you're like, oh, I just need someone else to watch it.
Yeah. Where are you?
But weird thing, not necessarily a haunting, but more of a paranormal experience that happened to me when I was a kid. I had a friend, she was only a few years older than me. When she was 13 years old, she finally succumbed to the HIV AIDS. She was introduced to that virus when she was 2 years old through a blood transfusion back in the 80s. She lived a pretty hard life, like really. But her and I became like really, really, really good friends. And the night she died, I had a dream that I saw her, and she told me that she didn't hurt anymore. And it was just kind of weird. Like, it's like I accepted it right then and there, but it was enough to wake me up. I got up out of bed to go get a drink of water, and my mom had just received a phone call and it telling us that Lori had died. And yeah, it was a trip, because she told me that she had some news to tell me, and I blurted it out. I was like, Lori's dead. And she's like, how? And I was like, I just had a dream. And I really think I actually saw her in a state of consciousness. I think I saw her.
That's so crazy. We'll have to spend an episode talking about shit like that, because I have some stories too.
I think that would be a wonderful episode. Very deep. I think a lot of people have those moments where someone you're connected to, they want to still be connected to you.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, we are, this is a mortal body, but we're being piloted by our consciousness.
And we're just balls of energy. Energy can't be destroyed, just moved.
Yeah. So it makes sense how you would have apparitions, ghosts, hauntings, and especially if something happens to you that is so traumatic that your spirit would attach to something, or your consciousness, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We're just little spirit glowworms piloting a body made out of meat and bones. It's not the best ship. It's the only ship we got. So
Stardust.
Yeah, there you go.
Stardust.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. It's very, very true.
Richard's got a haunted Taco Bell.
Every Taco Bell I've ever been to has haunted me the next morning. So
haunted your buckle.
It's it possessed my body, and not in a good way.
The sounds that came out of me.
What do you call it? We needed an old priest, we needed a young priest, and we needed a new bathroom. So either way. Anyway, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I shouldn't even say that. Andrew, do you have another one you wanted to go into?
I do.
Awesome.
This one is I want to visit this place really badly too. This is on my wish list.
Girls Going Gin road trip.
Yeah, this would be cool. This one is in this one's Maple Hill Cemetery. It's in Huntsville, Alabama. It is the oldest and largest cemetery in the state. So they built the cemetery and they had extra space. So they decided to build a small playground for children.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, out of all things, a small playground.
Come, children, dance upon the graves of the dead.
Well, the cemetery it has its separate name. It's the Maple Hill Park, but it's literally like right connected to it. It's right next door, so it's still on the cemetery.
Yeah.
They did the swings and they did like a jungle gym, just it's very small. It's not major or anything. So people say that they see the swings just moving by themselves. There's spheres, there's orbs, there's like light bulbs that you can see at night. They've seen kids there that they go and they check on kids that are by themselves, and they turn out to just be nothing there. It was actually taken down in 2007.
Oh no.
Yeah, and the locals were so pissed because they needed a spot for their little ghost kids, so they rebuilt it again.
Oh, yay!
So it's supposed to be like a place that they say it's another hotspot for paranormal activity. They've done a lot of episodes. I think that it was like on Ghost Hunters, and then it was on another episode. They've done a lot of investigating for that spot, and they say they see a lot of stuff going down there. I'm just intrigued by it because there's little kids. It's creepy already. The playground on the cemetery, it's already creepy. I just want to go take photos of it and just like, come here. I'm not gonna hurt you. Hi, little kids.
I think it's sweet, to be honest, because like those kids probably when they died, there was no playground when they died. There was none of that. So their little balls of energy are probably just like, oh, this is dope.
I think it's cute because it is it's still a playground for kids, but if there is activity there, it's probably just little kids that are lonely, or maybe that passed away in the cemetery, or they're probably looking for their parents, or just it's just there's so many things that could but that's one of the places that I really want to go visit.
Yeah. Man, we got to write down all of these places, and we have to all go visit them and take pictures and do all kinds of shit. I'm ready to travel.
Yeah, I want to do a road trip because in Alabama, there's actually quite a few spots, and they're all kind of near each other. So I want to do like a ghost road trip.
Yeah.
If that doesn't scream what Southern hospitality is, I don't know what else does.
What? Oh, building a playground?
Yeah, for the children who have died. It's like,
yeah.
For a fact, LA is not doing that. They're like, those kids are children's. Time to do something.
There's needles in the freaking sand in the playgrounds.
Oh God, yeah, I know.
Cool. That's a very scary real thing that happens. That is not great. Eric says that he's actually working a haunted house this year. The building has had 3 people die in it.
Oh, no fun.
It's actually haunted. So you have to do some research on that one, find out firsthand. And DeLion just joining us. Yeah, we're talking haunted locations today. And there's many haunted houses in Louisville. An old section called Old Louisville has a tour of them. I would like to do that tour.
There was a place in Louisville, and God damn it, I don't know why I didn't write it down, but there was a hospital that they would take people who had tuberculosis, and basically if you go to this hospital in Louisville, Kentucky back in the day, it was basically a death sentence for you. So there were thousands of deaths. It got so bad that they eventually just built like a body chute to throw. Waverly, that's it. You're right, Bob. Thank you. Oh, here it is. I did write it down. Waverly Hill Sanatorium. I'm so stupid. Okay. No, but that's where they would basically throw the bodies down a chute near the railroad.
Oh, that's horrible.
Tons of nurses, a few nurses actually committed suicide. Well, wait. It says 2 nurses committed suicide in the same room. So, this story reminds me of kind of the Asylum episode or Asylum series of American Horror Story.
Oh, my favorite season.
Yeah, mine too. I love it.
Pretty good. So this kind of reminds me of that. Like, I know it's an asylum and not like tuberculosis, but I'm sure that people that didn't have tuberculosis got thrown into this hospital as well. So.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. There was not. Neither one was a good place to end up. You know, even nowadays, if you end up in a place like that, it's not going to be a good time. There's no way.
Y'all just coughing on each other.
Yeah, like have you guys heard of the documentary?
Now you gave it to me. I gave it to you.
Oh my god! Have you guys heard of the documentary Titty Cut Follies?
What?
No.
Titty Cut Follies. It's no, it's nothing dirty. Don't get your mind out of the gutter.
One more time.
What do you call it? I cannot find a decent picture of the cover art. But basically, it's a sanitarium or sanatorium, whatever you call it. They go undercover in there and just reveal the horrible things happening to these people. Just people dying en masse.
I've seen some videos on shit like that. It's fucking sad. Like these people were just living in filth and in their own feces and all kinds of shit, like abused, beaten, starved. It's fucking sad. Electroshock, all kinds of shit.
Ice pick lobotomy.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I gotta find. I'm gonna show you guys this real quick, and this is definitely a haunted location because it is. Well, I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. I'm gonna let it do that. So share this. Volume back up.
I don't know what they're saying. Schizophrenia, paranoia, that's all I saw.
Honestly, truly.
Just from reading the subtitles, those are the only 2 words I got out of that.
Yeah, and this trailer goes on for a minute longer. I'll pause it right there. But the full documentary is you gotta watch it. It's the title is misleading. It's just the Titty Cut Follies is a very hard movie to watch. And this was what was the year it came out in? I believe
it looks like the 60s or 50s.
67. Okay, yeah, it came out in 67. It focused on the Bridgewater State Hospital. Oh man, yeah, they force feeding, the forced stripping of patients. It's just
that's awful.
They treated very sick people very horribly, and then a lot of people who weren't sick were forced in there because they thought they were sick. You know, just by the day and time standards, it's a rough story. It really is.
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
Awful.
Anything with hospitals and like things that they would do to people back then, it's horrifying. Just it's so. Ugh.
Any type of asylums, when they started doing that shit, it's so crazy because every story I've ever read where they started doing that shit was 2 women that just didn't want to be controlled by men. And they
didn't know how to fix them, so they just started fucking with them.
Yeah, some women, because they didn't want to have sex, they would be thrown in this asylum.
Yeah.
Or they'd be thrown in a place where they'd be seen as crazy. Like,
that's so weird. I know.
Oh
How dare you think for yourself?
How dare you read?
Well, that's what happened to Kennedy's sister growing up. She was thrown in one of those places and they lobotomized her and she never recovered. And he didn't know she was there until he was much older. Like,
well, our brains have the consistency of butter. any type of little anything that you do to it changes your entire personality, or can. It has the potential to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you were an EMT. You fucking know.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen lots of shit. Oh, speaking of being an EMT, do you have any like haunting stories? Spoopy things?
Nothing necessarily like haunting wise. I can tell you for an absolute fact that when you die, if you're kind of in tune with your your psyche, I guess is the best way to put it. But if you're in tune with your own psyche and somebody dies in front of you or around you, you can feel their energy leave the room. It's like the best way I've found to describe it is, you know how like you could be doing something, reading a book, watching a movie, whatever, and somebody comes up behind you and it's like you didn't hear them, you don't smell them, you don't see them, but you could just feel their presence right there. Imagine that feeling being completely reversed. Where it's like
if someone was by you and then they just disappeared.
Yeah, without you seeing, hearing, smelling,
that's such
anything.
a weird feeling.
It is weird, but also it is kind of relieving. It's
really?
Yeah.
Because I've seen that shit in movies. Like I've seen it. I've never personally experienced it, but I've seen examples of it in movies, and I feel like I can relate to it.
But the thing, like, I don't know, maybe my mindset on it is a little bit different, but I kind of like to look at it like, okay, so when we die, it's just that part of our life. There's more that happens. Mm-hmm. It's just this mortal life is over.
Well, because our energy has to go somewhere because we're not dead. Like energy just transfers. It doesn't.
Yeah. So it kind of, I don't know. It just kind of gives you a sense of wonder, not curiosity. Healthy curiosity would be the best way to put that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. You don't want to get too curious, but I don't know. It's kind of neat to know that there is more out there, and you know, we're just one day we're all going to cross that threshold
and maybe I'll come back and haunt you.
Yeah, sweet.
Or maybe you'll see all like your family members and like friends, be like, "Hey, what's up?"
I wouldn't do that. Yeah. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Miguel's gonna come back as this avatar right here.
Yeah, you're gonna see that pop up like your screen one day. Like, oh, what's going on here? And all of a sudden, there's gonna be this floating in your room. Dun dun dun.
Damn it,
like, oh my God, it's Miguel. He's haunting us.
I know how to fix this. Control Alt Delete.
Exit out. Exit out.
Yes, Bob's right. I will be an orb, but the only orb that has a little tiny person avatar in the center of it. I'm okay with that. It's that's not a bad life to live. I'm gonna say yes. I'm good with that. Good with being an orb in my afterlife. I've got another little clip to show you guys that I would like your opinion if this is haunting or something else, because I think it's something else. But before I go into it, Andrea, do you have anything else you wanted to throw in there? Because we're coming towards the end right now.
That was the only ones I have.
Oh yeah, shit, it's almost time.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end there, but not in a bad way. I think it's been very fun conversation, guys. But I'm going to throw on this one. It's from Russia, so it must be true.
Here we go.
And then the name kind of tells you what it is. But can you guys see that? Is it looking okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I've seen this.
Wait a minute. Oh my God.
Yeah, I've seen this one too.
No.
Yep.
I'm looking on the other side. We're on the other side of the car, right in the middle. No car. No.
That would freak me out.
Where the fuck did that car come from?
Right? Closing that out for right now, but that one.
No.
Okay, I'm glad someone hasn't seen it yet because that's the reaction I wanted. Awesome.
I'm gonna have to look into that because that is gnarly.
Oh, absolutely.
I've never seen that video. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question for you guys, though. Is that a ghost kind of situation, a paranormal, or I think it's like a lot of people saying a glitch in the Matrix. I think that's another small layer of like if you believe in like the multiverse theory where they're just stacked on top of each other.
We're gonna have to spend an episode on that too.
Yeah,
The Mandela. Is it Mandela or Mandala? I don't know.
What do you call it? It's Berenstein Bears.
That is
Bernstein,
still,
not Berenstein. Berenstein.
that is still fucking pissing me off right now.
Dude, the whole Fruit of the Loom thing's fucking me up.
What do you call it?
The cornucopia.
Yeah.
There was never a cornucopia. No.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just kidding. Oh, man.
And
okay. So yeah. Hey, I can still do this. Boom. Muted. Bam. Andrea, how's your day going? How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, they can come out of timeout now.
Still
Boom.
feeling a little bit sick, but I'm good.
oh,
That's right. You were good. I knew you were going to start writing stuff. Yeah, I wasn't going to let that happen. Oh, my goodness. But I'm glad you are feeling better. I'm glad you were able to make this episode with us.
Me too. Thank you.
I cannot wait for next week.
All right, guys. Hey, we have a new Instagram, everybody. It's Girls Gore and Gin, but there's a dot. It's all lowercase, and there's a dot in between each word. So it's girls dot gore dot and dot gin dot. I don't know. Unfortunately, I had to make it a whole new one because I couldn't get back into the old one. Yes, thank you. So that is our new account. Please go give us a follow. We're going to be posting a lot of new stuff on there. We're basically starting over, so join us. Be along for the ride with us, because
join us.
Come play with us.
We have a playground in Alabama.
All right. Well, other than that, Andrea, you have an event coming up that you'll be at, right? For the jewelry sales, right?
Yes.
But do you want to give them a little pitch on that one? When's it going to be?
I'm not too familiar with Bakersfield. It's gonna be on I think it's 19th Street. It's like the downtown area.
Okay.
I don't even know the date. Sorry.
Is that for a Saturday or?
Yeah, I just started doing all my
awesome.
vending spots for October, so I'm not sure what day it is. But
nice. Okay.
I'm gonna have to come visit you, and we're gonna have to do like a quick little live. I'll have to visit. How exciting! Yeah.
I might be in Bakersfield next week, so maybe you want to take some photos.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah. Let's get this going. I love it. All right, guys. That's gonna do it for us for tonight. We'll see you next Thursday with more fun topics, to be determined. But we will talk to you all then.
Alrighty, bye
everyone.
Bye, kids.